Of all, 33 Israeli hostages to be released by Hamas as part of the deal.
Yes, we want to see the list, but why can't they just move things forward by releasing somebody? It will be the case that 3 hostages come out today. One of them is Emily Damari, who's a Brit. That altogether, the Israeli government is saying that they expect 33 hostages to be released in that first phase.
Does not appear to be a normal situation.
Yeah, it does appear to be spinning, but I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
Welcome all, and thank you for joining me at another live at the channel at Mr. Freemason. Pardon me. I'd like to welcome you all. First of all, before we get the show started, we will do a roll call as usual. So please just drop down in the chat and let me know where everybody is listening from, and we will get on with the show shortly. I hope you've all been doing well and you've had a lovely weekend. So in today's live, we will be covering certain topics, and the topics we will be covering are SpaceX, Donald Trump, Gaza and Israel, and also a sprinkle of hidden knowledge in there. So like I said, I hope you're all doing very well, and you've had an enjoyable weekend. There's lots been going on, especially with Donald Trump's speech that's supposed to be due and coming up in the next half hour. So it'd be interesting to see what he says, and hopefully everything goes all right and to plan, as we deciphered the numbers last time in the last live show, and they showed us a few details. So today is the 19th of January 2025. That number added all to, well, the 19 is a 1 and 9 equals 10, and you drop the 0, which gives you a 1 day. Pardon me. So the first letter of the alphabet is A. It stands for alpha male. It also stands for aggression. It stands for accident. It stands for athlete. It also stands for agreements. So I'll just give a quick shout out to people who are in the chat section who've joined us for this live. So there's Wonder Woman versus Hulk, Audio Oracle, aka Zombieland Variants. There are also, Wiz is also with us. Just another shout out as well to Exotic Doll and also Wiz, I believe. So, yeah, you're already here already. So thank you for joining us in the live. So we'll start with the video shortly in a minute. We'll be covering some topics. We'll be breaking down the numbers with regards to what they mean. So just wait a couple of seconds, see if a few more people join us, and we will get on with the show. So just to recap, over here on the Mr. Freemason channel, we like to cover numerology and also astrology. The usual numbers that we tend to look at and look for in news articles, which come up on a regular basis, are the numbers 3, the number 6, the number 9, the master number 11, 13, the 19, another master number 22, 23, and the grand master number of 33. So as always, the topics and the news articles we cover, they're always laced with these numbers, and they give us an inkling into whether things are nefarious or through natural causes. So today's the day to take action. It's a 1 day, so it's also a day of alpha male. So there will be a lot of aggression on the roads on a 1 day. People will tend to have a lot more road rage, so to say, on a 1 day. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
chamber pressure is nominal.
Into the test flight of the inaugural Starship vehicle. Tower cleared. We're into picture. This is does not appear to be a nominal situation.
Yeah, it does appear to be spinning, but I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
So what you're seeing before you is there was a launch on Friday just gone by SpaceX with regards to a retest of a rocket. This is actually the footage from the previous launch to that. The one that happened on Friday, the reason and excuse for the rocket exploding was there was leaked fuel. So that was the reason that they gave for the failed test of that rocket on Friday. But the video footage you can see before you is the one from previously. The reason that I've chose this one is it gives a bit of a better understanding, a bit of a clearer definition as to really what's going on here. So as many of you might know, with regards to Freemasonry and also the Masonic Lodge and badge logo, it's represented by two pillars, bows and Jishin, that sit either side, with the sun and the moon and the stars that are encapsulated with a dome that goes from one pillar to the other. Now the representation of this cover that goes from one pillar to another is a representation of what is known as the firmament, or the glass dome. Now, many other YouTubers have touched on this topic out there with regards to the firmament and how that the illusion of space is given to us. There's actually a video already on the channel, Mr. Freemason, if you'd like to go and check that out, that actually covers NASA and space and goes into a lot more depth with regards to what the firmament is and how it works. So the video shown before you, like I said, is the space rocket from X. It launched. As it got so far, it couldn't go any further. It hit the firmament and literally disintegrated. Now, as I play the next part of the video, if you pay attention closely enough, you'll actually see the rocket start to fall. Now, like many of these launches, the launches are always done on the coast, and the rocket always tends to fall, or the parts of it tend to fall out at sea. So the question you have to ask yourself is, why are rockets not sent straight up into space? If we're on a globe and a ball, why does the rocket just not go up? Why does the rocket always have to curve and bend out of sight? Well, as we digress, you'll find out a bit more reasons why, and as to why these are on the coast, and as to why they curve rather than go in a straight line. So if you pay close attention, you'll see in the next bit of footage, you will see the rocket start to descend. And then we will move on to the Masonic logo. So there you can see two parts of the rocket that are starting to descend. They will fall into the ocean. Some of them are recovered, some of them never are. But this seems to be a regular occurrence with rockets. Now, it always bamboozles me with regards to Elon Musk and SpaceX, because he claims that he's going to get us to planet Mars. Yet so far, he can't seem to even get to the moon, which is quite puzzling. So I don't know how he's going to get us to Mars if he can't get us to the moon in the first place. Bearing in mind, the last visit to the moon was nearly 80 years ago. And the reason for the protection of Area 51 is in relation to the moon landing. I'm not going to go too deep into regards to conspiracy theories or anything like that, but I will let you make your minds up as to the reason as to why Area 51 is so guarded, and with regards to what footage or props, should we say, might still be there.
And there, as you saw,
So the firmament is referred to in the Bible of Psalms 19.1. And it says that the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. And this is in reference to the firmament. Now, after the Second World War, there were 90 of the, should we say, not so popular German minority who were, after the Second World War, who the Americans brought over. One of them people was von Braun, who was actually the forefather and founder who set up NASA. So here's a bit of hidden knowledge for you. NASA was actually set up as a sea exploration in the first instance. It was nothing to do with space. Once they discovered certain things in the ocean, considering 80% of the oceans are still unexplored, they then decided to turn their attention away from the sea and start to aim upwards into so-called space. I will just shout out Zombieland Variants, aka Audio Oracle. Go check on his channel. There's a very interesting video with regards to a title called The Star and a Jar, if you want to know a bit more with regards to space, planets and stars. Very interesting, and it might help you to kind of understand what the stars are and what you see when you look up at the sky. So Werner von Braun passed away in 1977. On his headstone, like I said, is Psalms 19.1, which is in regards to the firmament. He was also very good friends with Walt Disney, who was also a 33-degree Freemason. And there's a lot of detail that goes into Walt Disney, not just the man, but also the company. I will cover that in another video with regards to logos and symbolism, and break down certain words and numbers within words and letters. So the logo you see before you, sorry, I'll just whiz back. The logo you see before you is the Masonic Lodge logo with regards to the representation of the two pillars that I described: the sun and the moon, the stars, the all-seeing eye, the checkered floorboard. So Freemasons are very knowledgeable when it comes to space, stars, the moon and the sun. That is also why they have the black and white checkered floorboard. It's a representation of duality, good versus evil, light versus dark, and so on. Now, as we start to move on towards Donald Trump, a phrase that's come up quite familiarly lately is a term called the Golden Age. Now, some people have asked what the Golden Age means. Some people think the Golden Age is in reference to Donald Trump's new election of presidency and being the 47th president, and believe that this is some sort of Golden Age that's being rushed in. But when you look up and look into the Golden Age, it's actually a fraternity or a term or a phrase, so to speak, used in Freemasonry. There's many words that Donald Trump uses that are in reference to Freemasonry and also go back to ancient Egyptian times. So the Golden Age is just one term that Donald Trump uses. The other one that he uses is Make America Great Again, which is also known as MAGA, which we'll move on to in a minute. So Donald Trump is seen as a kind of new prophet, so to speak, the people's person. What many people don't understand or know about Donald Trump is he's no different to any of the other presidents. It doesn't matter who's in presidency or who's elected prime minister, the people behind them are always the same people who run the show, so to speak, and fund things. The other people, such as Donald Trump, Keir Starmer, they're no more than just puppets. So as I said, Donald Trump, Make America Great Again. The picture you just saw there as well. It's Donald Trump flashing up a quick symbol of the 666. MAGA in Spanish is meant to mean magician. MAGA also stands for sorcerer, wizard, black magic, I believe that Donald Trump is very good friends and close friends with Abramovich's wife, who's a very well-known witch who likes to practice witchcraft. So there's another detail for you. So going back to today, and today being the 19th of January and a 1 day, like I said, the first letter being A stands for alpha male, aggression, accidents, assertiveness, athlete, and also agreements. Now the agreements part comes into play with regards to today. So today you had 2 agreements that went on. One was by Donald Trump in an arrangement and agreement that he would not ban TikTok once being into presidential election, and also Israel with an agreement with Gaza. So it just goes to show you on a 1 day under the letter A and the day of agreements, that Donald Trump makes an agreement with TikTok and Israel make an agreement with Gaza. 2025 is also equals up to 9. 2 plus the 2 plus the 5 equals 9, which is the number of beginning and endings. It's also the number of completion. It's also associated with manipulation, manifestation, money, and the letter M, which also starts MAGA. So there's just another correlation with regards to the letter M and the year 2025 being a 9 year. 9 years are also known for, like I've said, beginning and endings. So in 9 years, things will come to an end or things will start.
Let's just give.
Now, as we turn our attention to Gaza, I just said a minute ago with regards to the agreement between Gaza and Israel that happened today and the ceasefire, I will let you in some secret knowledge as to why Israel have now agreed to a ceasefire after a year and a half. Because they were approached with ceasefires before and they turned them down. So why all of a sudden might you ask that Israel might take up this ceasefire now? Well, when you take a look at Gaza, you'll find out why. And when Gaza was founded and established, it will be all clear and you'll understand why Israel wanted to put a stop to this, and not just because of Donald Trump's request. So with regards to Gaza, there's some hostages that the people that begin with H, should I say, have. We can't mention them just in case YouTube doesn't like it and they decide to take the stream down. So we will have to dodge these words, unfortunately. So there were hostages that they've agreed to release. And a number of the hostages might just take you back a bit.
An update here just from a press conference that we've just had over in Israel. The Foreign Minister Gideon Sahar has given a press conference saying that he thinks that it will be the case that 3 hostages come out today. One of them is Emily Damari, who's a Brit, that altogether the Israeli government is saying that they expect 33 hostages to be released in that first phase.
So there's your first number 3. 3 is the number of the communicator. It's also the number of the criminal, which is why you will find the number 3 in a lot of crime articles or where people have lost their life or had their lives taken. The number 3 will come up all the time. An example of this is Liam Payne. There were 3 men. Didn't he fall from the 3rd floor? So there's just an example for you. This wasn't the only reference with regards to 33. Obviously, it's the hostages, but this wasn't the first person to mention this.
Get straight into today's story, shall we? After initial delays, Israel and Hamas are set to imminently begin releasing hostages as the long-awaited ceasefire between the two sides does take effect. The list of all 33 Israeli hostages to be released by Hamas as part of the deal has been made public, with 3 young women, including British national Emily Damari.
So,
Where would the focus?
Why now, would you ask? Well, Gaza was actually founded in a snake year. and we're about to come into the snake year on the 29th of January 2025. So do you think that Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu know about numerology astrology and decided to take the wise option to take a ceasefire just before it transferred into the snake year of Gaza? Now the snake year is approaching. Those of you who are born in the snake year, you have a very good year to look forward to. So the snake year is 2013 as well as 2025, 2001, 1989, 1977, 1965 and 1953. So if you're born in any of them years I've just mentioned, you have a good year to look forward to. For those of you born in a pig year, these are people born 1995, 1983, 1971, 1959 and 1947. The best advice I could give to you is lay low this year. Don't take on any battles, don't take on any confrontations, don't try to get away with any crime, and just be truthful to yourself and lay low really. It's only a 12-month period. Trust me, it hits us all. We all take a whack in the enemy year. But on the positive side, you've only got 6 years to wait till you're back in your own energy year again. So it is all swings and roundabouts, and things are just the way that they are. That's the way numerology works. So the last part of the video, I believe this is, there might even be a few more bits at the end. When the news reporters were giving a statement with regards to the hostages, or so they kept referring to as hostages, they also described the 3 ladies that are being released as soldiers, only then to change the story half an hour later to them being 2 students and a soldier. Now the reference to these 3 women were hostages. But unfortunately for Anne Diamond on GB News, Mr. Freemason doesn't tend to miss many things. So when she referred to them as hostages throughout the whole news article and report on GB News Live this morning, she accidentally slipped up and disclosed exactly that these people aren't hostages, but in fact prisoners. The reason being is there are no hostages. This is just a simple negotiation of prisoners being released. An inkling to this is 4 people or 4 hostages were originally released not long after the 7th of October when the Gaza and Israeli war started. 2 of those people were American Israelis. That's because everybody in Israel has national dual citizenship, in America as well as Israel, which is why they were classed as American Israelis. The other 2 out of the 4 were actually 2 Thai men. So it was a little bit confusing as to who the hostages are and how many were being held. But it seems that Anne Diamond slipped up and disclosed to the rest of the world that they aren't actually hostages, but in fact prisoners.
Could be now. I mean, if those hostages are, so they are 3 people who have been hostages since October the 7th. All taken on October the 7th and have been hostages ever since. Can we look at the 3 hostages who we hope are going to be released? But now the very latest news is that we understand that 3 women are women prisoners, hostages.
So like I just said before the video, where Anne Diamond dropped herself in it, is in 1917 that Gaza was founded, or born, so to speak. Obviously, Palestine always existed, but it was Gaza that was founded in 1917, which is the year of the snake, which is exactly why Israel decided to take up the offer of the ceasefire literally less than 2 weeks before the changeover of the year of the snake. So there you can see for yourselves, 1917, year of the snake. Is there any questions that anybody would like to ask in the chat section before I start to wrap the stream up? I hope you found the stream interesting and informative. Hope it gives you a bit of a better understanding and clearer definition of numerology and how numbers work and how they can be applied. Also, the number 33 in the news articles. This is not the first time that number 33 is mentioned in news articles. Many famous people have lost their lives, age 33. Even letters can be converted into 33. So an example of this was the Liam Payne case in the news report. There was Cheryl Cole mentioned. Cheryl's first name begins with C, her last name begins with C. There's your two threes, so it's your 33. And on that note, I'm going to start to wrap the stream up. If you found this all interesting and you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to, you can support the channel if you like, with a coffee. And also we have Breaking the Matrix, Numerology, Astrology, which is also available out now on Amazon. So if you want to go and grab yourself a copy of that, it explains all the basics of numerology, astrology. I know a few of you out there have bought the book already, so thank you very much. I hope you found it informative and very useful. If anything, these are the tools to the matrix and the codes that kind of give you an advantage over everybody else. So the next time you see a crime article, or the next time you see Donald Trump give a speech, or SpaceX launch a rocket, or any kind of agreement in the future, you'll know to look out for the numbers and you'll know exactly what it means. And also with regards to news reports and crime articles, you will now be able to discover whether they are natural or nefarious. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have you all here, and take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next stream. I'm out of here.